I've been trying to plan going into 2025, and I'm sitting here thinking, okay, what are the steps that I can take that can benefit you guys as far as what we're looking at and what we're doing? And I came up with the digital version of how to grow your agency in the next 12 to 24 months. What you're going to be focusing on is a lot of financials, a lot of growth, a lot of marketing, a lot of pieces that are just going to come at you throughout the year. And if you don't focus and put your blinders on, if you're not able to block out all of the things to the left and the right and just go down this road, you're going to struggle growing your agency. The first piece is to create a strong business plan. If you haven't already, if you're new, you need a business plan. When you start to connect with carriers, you join a network, they're going to ask you for what your business plan is. I plan on growing X amount in the next 12 months. I plan on working on this type of marketing. I plan on hiring this many employees. I plan on X, Y, and Z. And it doesn't have to be elaborate. It could be that I plan on writing $250,000 worth of home and auto business in the next 12 months. I want to work with preferred accounts. And you can have it simple, but then map out what those plans are. And we'll go a little bit further that in near the end of the video. I've actually got a section where we're going to dive in and actually go over how to do that. There's a big should do, which is the next piece, is market research. If you haven't researched your market, then you need to do so. Now I say should do because I'll be honest, I'm not going to do it. Like, we are so good at what we do and we've done it so much that at this point it doesn't make sense in our specific situation. I think it's good if you have a team that's already working for you. I wouldn't put a ton of time into that if you need to revamp that. The next step is you have to have a budget, and I'm going to make a separate video that goes over our budget if you want to see where we were last year and what we plan on spending in the next 12 months. If you are interested in that, go ahead and subscribe. By the way, we actually are working on a kind of a beta test where we're thinking of taking on 1099s. I put a wait list in the description below if you're interested in possibly joining our agency, or if you're just looking to join a network, I'll link you to the one that we're part of. Again, we don't make any type of commission off of that, so it's just a free resource for you. And then if you're new or you're looking to grow and you want some advice, there's a ton of Facebook pages out there that you can join, but I've created one that's off of Facebook because I don't want it shareable. Obviously, you could screenshot anything, but in general, I don't want a spot where people are going to hit each other up on Facebook for those reasons. So if you're looking to join a network that can help you get some training advice, some of these videos are going to be in there as well once we start growing that further down the road. Doing your budget does make sense. You have to know what's the cash flow, what are we looking to spend, how much is our expenses going to be, can we market, or do we have to go door to door and start knocking on things, right? So we have to drum up our own business. So you have to have a plan of one, that map or that plan will include that budget and that growth plan. But now you got to figure out the finances. How much money do you have to invest in the technology? How much money do you have to invest in going out to lunches? How much money, like all of the things are the pieces that make up your agency or the growth of your agency. That's going to be part of that plan. The fourth one is to make realistic goals. I want to be at $10 million pretty quickly, right? But if I don't set a date, then it's just a dream. And if I don't focus on it and set milestones and have plans on this year, we're going to grow $500,000 or $1.5 million, whatever your goal is going to be, or 200,000, like whatever your goal you want to, that you think you can achieve, always make it a little bit more than what it should be because it's called a stretch goal. And you always want to stretch for something that might be out of reach, but set milestones that you can do along the way that help you get to that goal that may have stretched you to work a little bit harder or a couple hours extra to get to that next level. And how do you do that? You build marketing. And that is the fifth one, which is build marketing that people can't ignore. You can't ignore this. You really should pick 3 types of marketing, whether it's center of influence, you're going to go to networking events, whether you're running Facebook ads and you're going to spend some money, whether you're going to purchase leads from a company, or just go on social media and just start blasting it out there. We get a couple leads a day just from going into groups and commenting on people looking for insurance. And it's not even the person looking for it that we get. We just put our link in there, say, hey, we can help. We work with these companies. And then other people see that link and then follow us into there. Because I'll be honest with you, usually when you see that post, there's 100 people, I'm an agent, I'm an agent, I'm an agent. And if you make it simple, you've outshined that person by making it easy. Here's a link, here's the companies we work with. Feel free to reach out. You're going to find people and be like, oh, well, that's easy, I'll do that. And they're going to reach out to you and you're going to find some good clients out of that. I didn't want to go that far into marketing, but another video. Find 3 ways that you can market. If it's got to be one, then it's got to be one. If it's going to be 2, honestly, I think you should have 3. Focus on 3 different avenues that you can, if your time permits you to invest into each of them. The 7th one is to get help, to get assistance. And you're like, Mark, this is just me. Like, I can't do anything, or this is just me and so. And you would be shocked on how much you can get done with technology. Now, I'm not going to go too far into that. I'll put a link if you want to look at some of the technology we're using. AI assistant, I'm working on a bot that's going to just change the game for insurance agents. There's 1,000 bots out there. There's 1 million CRMs. There's 1 million AMSs. You just need to focus on what works for you. And for us, it's going to be an AI assistant. Someone that can answer the call at 2 in the morning, direct them to the right place. Someone that can be available if I'm on the phone, that can help set up an appointment for me. Probably going to work on one that actually reaches out to clients. So if you have a list of people, I'm researching that. There's going to be some videos from me coming about the legalities of things like that. But again, that's where you subscribe. That is going to be helpful. Again, you've got a budget for that. So we'll talk about that in a later video if you are going to budget something like that. So we figured out all the finances. We understand where we're going. We've got a roadmap. We are blinders on. If you're curious what that means is, you ever seen the horses that are the professional horses? They have these little blinder things because they get spooked when they see peripheral and they jump and they go off track and they run away, whatever that is. So you really want to have these blinders on to stop seeing all of the distractions that are out there. Family's a good distraction most of the time. Focus on family, God, family, all of those things are important. But if you set the right time down and focus on it, then you can go down the right path in that straight line. That leads into the 8th piece, which is, we talked about setting milestones. You need to set milestones for achievements. And I want you to have rewards for each milestone. Whenever you're setting a milestone, if I reach $10,000 in a given month, I want to go out to coffee with a friend. If I hit 50,000 with this specific carrier because they're going to unlock my access if I can do that, then I want to have a pizza party. Share your milestones and your wins, whether they're small or big, with everybody. Let people know what you're doing, and when you're successful with it, celebrate. 9, let me know what number I'm on. Am I on 9? I think I'm 90% sure I'm on 9. 9 is the tools. There's CRM, there's now AI, there's automation, there's digital marketing tools. Digital marketing tools, I do an all-in-one. Like I said, it's in the link description. You can check with the guys there and talk to them. I have my website with one. I've got multiple websites. So I've got one of my websites, my landing page website with one. It's all built in, same price. I've got the CRM built into one. That's my marketing CRM. It does all my automation, all my emails. It can text people and set up appointments, all those things, right? I've got my digital marketing platform, which I'm just starting to get into a little bit more, where we're going to market on Google. We're going to start pushing some ads out there to try to pull in more business. And I'm building the AI bot that can talk to customers in a legal way, right? The tough part is being legal with it, is that there's a million, you can build it, right? So understand the tools that are available to you. If you're not using some sort of technology, you're fine. Like I've done in other videos, you can use a Rolodex if you have a platform. If you're just you talking to a couple people a day, you're probably okay. If it's not you, or if you have a plan to grow X amount, more than $500,000 a year, if you plan on hiring people down the road, set up the automations now, set up the platforms now. Don't invest all of your time, because marketing is way more important if you're going to advertise. Get the software that does that. Focus on the growth of the business. And if you can set in these base pieces, which is my technology, my typical customer, my standards, all of my things that I have to stand on a foundation, you want to have that be part of it. And that leads into the 10th one, which is your pitch. Know what your foundation is, your pitch to people. If you know who your consumer is, you know the client, you know where they're at, you know who they are, have your elevator pitch. If you're in an elevator for 20 seconds, 30 seconds, what are you going to say instead of rah, 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 insurance, rah, rah, you're going to talk the ear off. It's, I'm Mark, I help people with home and auto insurance to get the best rate, but also the best coverage. If you're interested, here's my link below. Something like that, not necessarily that you have to record it and have to post it, but you gotta let people know you are in business to grow and help others, but in general, that's gonna help you in the end. So know the pitch that you have, whether it's that or more elaborate, and then you can also have your AI or have your automation start to pitch that for you to where you can duplicate yourself in multiple avenues. The 11th is to keep up to date with the market at a low point. If you're a big agency and you have multiple agents, then you should probably have some sort of a trainer or some sort of admin that can keep up on what's changing in the market. Understand if your customers are shifting or if commercial needs to be more prevalent or if your home and auto is starting to come back into play. I love home and auto. That's a big piece of our business. We do a ton of commercial. So we have to keep an eye out of what's changing in these industries, but I don't want you to over focus on that. I get 4 emails a day from Google Trends and it tells me all the things I want to know. That email has like 6 little articles and that's a lot. Like I dread it sometimes. It's like, oh my gosh, I don't want to look at these, but I know I need to if I'm making content like this. I need to understand who's the next one up, who's the company that I need to look at. I don't have homes in Texas that are very competitive. So what company can I find that's in Texas? Let's follow the marketing trends of these companies are doing X, Y, and Z. How do I know that State Farm just lost $6 billion this quarter? It's because it's part of the research. But if I only focused on that, now I'm just a researcher, and that's not the point of this. Your first point as an agent is to be productive. So I put this as a quarterly thing. Every quarter, maybe spend an hour and look up what's changed in the industry. Don't go past that. If you're an agency owner, maybe every month. If you're like me and you're making content, then every day, right? So there's different levels that you should be at, but I would put this on the low scale of things that you have to do. If you have good carriers, if you're part of a good network, they're going to tell you changes that are coming. Maybe not the day before you would have found out, but at least you're going to find out ahead of most people. Going forward, other pieces that you need to focus on is keeping records of the things. Everything that creates your agency, honestly, we'll call it the headaches. We're licensing renewals. We're in 12 states, so that's a lot of work. We're actually going to grow into more states if the demand is there. So licensing for me, licensing for the agents, like what's happening? Are we allowed to sell these policies? Keeping up with your E&O. E&O went up a little bit. So should I be paying that? Am I going to shop it? I don't have the time. Let's just pay the bill. Do I have the workman's comp in case someone get injured? All of the things that create that, right? Am I doing the licensing correct? There's now something called a BOI. Those are things that you have to keep up on whether you like it or not. Those are the must-dos, not just the researches. Let me know if you made it this far. I've got one other section if you are interested. Actually, put a comment in below and just let me know if you did make it this far and what I've missed in any of that. Because we're going to dive into the things that will take you off track more than we will on the things that are going to propel you forward. The pieces that I've found that have taken us, or at least me, off track is licensing issues. So the way to fix that is I hired someone to start helping with that because it's, like we said, a lot of work when there's more than one person figuring all the licensing things and then you can't quote and it's just, there's a lot. All the legal paperwork, renewing your E&O, renewing your license, making sure your website's renewed, all of the things that you have to worry about. If you have it in a software, great, you're good. Accounting paperwork, if you're doing it yourself, make sure you're doing the right accounting. That's gonna just take time away. We pay someone to do it. I don't like paying the cost, but it's part of it. Don't do bad bookkeeping because that's just going to slow you down. It's going to create issues. You're going to have a ton of taxes at the end of the year, and it's just not worth having that headache. So if you don't have help there, you need to talk with someone. I'd prefer locally. That way, if you have to meet with them, you can. The other piece that's going to slow you down is being too social on social media, which means you are watching every video under the sun like mine. I'm sorry. Keep watching mine. No, it doesn't matter. I want you guys to succeed, but you don't have to just watch everything and everything. I get stuck in it. Like I'm like, oh, we gotta, every time I go on Facebook, I know it usually recommends that I learn about insurance. So I got to go in there and do things. But if I start looking at posts and I'm looking at the kids and I should make a little Facebook. And then my mind starts to wander. And before you know it, I'm overwhelmed. I've replied to 100 things. I've read 10 insurance things and all of those pieces, right? Be organized with that. That's one, again, the collabs below. If you're looking to do that and talk insurance, then there's a network that we've created that's free. You can join it, have fun. Focusing too much on branding, I think personal branding is super powerful, super important. But I think business branding is almost a waste of time to a point. Know your brand, create it. Don't spend your life building colors and graphics and all that. I think I paid someone on Fiverr. Like, this is the worst shirt we have for our brand, our local brand. It says Valor Insurance, and It's okay, right? We've got better ones as we've grown, but we've had time to do those. 600 clients later, nobody knows who we are. It's like even the customers that we work with, even though we call them every year, there's customers like, oh, I didn't know you were my agent. The branding does matter because it does help locally that you are that company, you're building the brand, but it doesn't have to be a heavy focus to where you have to have 12 different profiles of people. You have to have this, and if you're not talking this way, you're not part of the brand. Before you know it, you lose yourself. And that's one thing that I noticed that I started to do, and it started to make me worse at my job than it made me better. So focusing on your personal branding is more important, and still having a brand created, but don't go overboard. The 20th topic is shiny object syndrome. I just talked about AI. I just talked about how it can call out soon. Pretty soon it's going to sell policies for you. I don't know if that'll ever legally hit, but if it does, I'm going to make it. It's going to be part of our software. That piece is great. That is a benefit to the agency, so it's going to help us do less time on the phone and more work. If I can have an AI take changing red car to blue car and then just submit it to me to where I can go do it on the back end and have a service person or myself just fix it, and then it follows up with the customer, that's a benefit. But if you're new, like I said before, you shouldn't be focusing on the things that you can't do. You shouldn't be spending 5 hours a day building this AI bot or building this website or doing all of these things. I get money plays a factor, so there's a piece to that. But start off where you're at. If it's got to be a junky website or a landing page, then so be it. If it's just a Facebook page, then it's a Facebook page. If you've got to grow that and start somewhere, if it's going to take away hours of your day, it's not worth it. There's different ways to market. And some people do really good with network marketing. Some people do really good with mailers. Some people do really good with leads. And you join them and it's like, how come I'm not successful? One, it takes time. Everything that you do, you've got to hang around the flagpole long enough to get good at it because you failed at it so many times. And you've just got to become that person. But if you jump from one thing to the next, oh, mailers didn't work, let me try the leads. Leads didn't work, although they do if you do them right. And 80% of the people will tell you, no, they don't, they suck. And they're right because they didn't do them correctly. But also getting your own business, huge. I love it. I'm great at it. But you doing it or someone else just randomly doing it may not be. And so you've got to focus on those three pieces that we talked about, the three different marketing methods, and getting those honed in to where you're good at them. Don't bounce around to different ways of doing them. If you find the way that fits, if you don't like it, if it doesn't fit, then get rid of it. Burn it now. Move on to the next one that's going to help you propel forward. And that leads into one of the last pieces, which is don't compare yourself to someone else. I am a hypocrite when I say this because I compare myself to every one of you. If one of you is successful, I'm sad because I need to be that successful. I struggle with that. It's on YouTube. It's on my growth in my agency. I need to be a $10 million agency. As long as you have the map and you're hitting the goals, you are on path. There's a path you need to take. It's only for you. It's at your level. Milestones tell you that you're making it. Sharing it with friends tell you you're making it. The guy that made 10 million in his agency yesterday just hit it, has probably been doing it for 30 years. You're on year 2, you're on year 5, whatever that process is you're at. It has the potential to ruin what you're creating a lot mentally more than anything. If you've ever joined any type of a training or a growth thing, they always start with mental, because it is. If you've done 100 things and you're like, there's another thing, it's not going to work, he's doing it and I know he can do it, why can't I do it? Forget all that. Put your milestones into place, set your budgets, focus on that, try to get automation in or hire people to do it, whatever the thing works for you. Those are the processes that you need to take. And last, don't overwhelm yourself. Oh my gosh. That is the fault I have, is I can't stop overwhelming myself. It's just, I love it. I thrive on overwhelm. And my wife will tell you that is 100% true. I'm running 3 businesses. Focus on the short tasks. Try to do the pieces that you know you can do, learn the things you know you can learn. If you're focusing on what we just talked about and you're not looking at the shiny object and all of the things that I probably already overwhelmed you with, then that will help put you on that path for 2025, 2026, 2027. This video will always be helpful to help you grow as an agent or an agency owner. Let me know what your thoughts are. What piece am I missing in this video that would be helpful for other agents? growing their agency or agency owners trying to help other people grow as well. Link in the description for everything. Don't forget to subscribe and like. I'm Mark W. Flockhart. I'll see you in the next one.